Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, y'all already know no gatekeeping. Y'all know that is my theme for this year. Yes, it is. It's my motto. And because I'm not gatekeeping, I want everyone who wants to be a part of this terrific community. I want you to come on in and be a part. Yes. And if you have been hanging out with us, been over there in the comments, having a good time, and you still hadn't subscribed, what are you waiting on? Come on, look down in your settings, look around, find that subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit the notification bell too, so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in, and give me a thumbs up to fight that nemesis of mine, that big, that algorithm. Yes, it has me by the scruff of the neck. It does. But y'all know me. I will get back on top. And with y'all's help, I have no doubt about that. Also, I want to say a big thank you and a big shout out to all the readers who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. Listen, y'all are doing a banger of a job as usual, and I just want to say I appreciate you so very much for doing that. I know it's not easy, but it helps so much. Also, over in the corner, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting this channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And y'all know I'll be so thankful, so grateful, so over the moon appreciative for your support. Also, if you just want to do a one-time donation, yes, look around down there, find that super thanks button and click it. And if you do, just so you know, all donations to the channel is always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, we do have some shout outs. We do. And first up is my girl, Yulette. If you look up the definition for ride or die, Yulette would be right there in the number one spot. She would. She is so faithful. She is always coming through, and she is always down with the read. And I appreciate her so very much. So thank you, Yulette. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here and thank you for being a part of this community. And Annette Sweat came through. Yes, she did. Annette has been with me since the beginning, and she is so faithful. She is a ride or die as well. Always coming through, always being in the comments, always faithful day after day after day. She is the best, and I am so grateful for her. So thank you, Annette. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for riding so hard for the read. And PP-BB60X, yes, came on through. Yes, she did. And I appreciate it so very much. She has been with me for a while. She's quiet. But you check the comments. Every now and then she will drop a jewel in there. And it is always special. So thank you. Thank you, PP-BB60X. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here and thank you for riding so hard for the read. Thank you. And y'all know my girl, Tiger Mommy, came through. Yes, she did. Yes, the one that is everything and knows that she is everything. Yes, that would be Tiger Mommy. Tiger Mommy has been with me just about since the beginning, and she rides so hard for the read. She is always down for the read. She's always in those comments. She is always thought provoking. She is so smart. And all you have to do is read her comments to know that. Yes, Tiger Mommy is everything. And I am so lucky and so thankful to have her as a part of this community because she definitely is a addition. She does not do subtraction. Yes, Tiger Mommy, thank you, thank you, thank you for the super thanks. But most of all, thank you for coming through. All right, y'all, I'm going to play this and we'll talk on the other side. All right, y'all. I want to give another quick shout out to Eulette, to Annette Sweat, to PP-VB60X, and Tiger Mommy. Yes, thank y'all so much for coming through. Thank you for supporting. It means so very much. And I could not do it without you. I'm just going to confess to that because y'all really, really give me the drive to show up every day. And I appreciate that so very much. Y'all are everything. So thank you, thank you, thank you for the super thanks. But most of all, y'all, thank y'all for showing up each and every day and coming on through. Like I said, it means so much. It does. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and let me tell you, that's where I have been. And it is some interesting things. Now, the squatties, they are basking in the afterglow of the very, very successful as ever drop. Yes, we know everything was selling out right, left, and in between, and the squatties are just thrilled about it. My timeline is just filled with all the orders that squatties placed on Saturday. Yes, everybody is so happy. And you know what? Even though a lot of it sold out, it's still stuff you could go and get later on during the day. And I just love that. I do. I love that so many people got a shot at it. I really am. So, yeah, it was a huge, huge success, and squatties are still talking about that. And of course, they're still talking about the JE files. And some more stuff has come out, I'm telling you. And that crown princess over there in Norway, she is in trouble. She is in trouble, y'all. And it seems like another princess is also in trouble as well because her name was in there too. And we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about the double standard, you know, how they just absolutely was just quick on the trigger. They were really quick to pull the trigger on Harry and Meghan, and how they did nothing but cloak and protect, you know, the one that used to be a prince. Yes, squatties are not letting that one go either. They are like a dog with a bone, and we're going to talk about that just a little bit, just a little bit. And we're going to talk about something that I've been intending on talking about for a while. It was a post that popped up on my timeline, and I kind of kept pushing it back and kept pushing it back because other things was coming to the forefront. But now I got time, and we're going to talk about it. It is about Kitty and how this squatty went and found something that really explains what's going on with Kitty and Willie, because I don't think Willie ever wanted Kitty, and Kitty really don't want Willie. She wants the rank and the lifestyle. So we all knew that. And those two, you know, when you marry those two things together, you get two miserable people in a bad marriage. And that's exactly what has happened. And we're going to talk about that. So we have quite a few little things we want to talk about, and you know, some more little tidbits. You know, I'm gonna throw a little tidbits in there. So yeah, y'all hang in. I'm not gonna keep you long, but I promise to keep you entertained. So I'm gonna put this up. And this is from GB News. They are trying to find an angle somehow to make Meghan's chocolate sales be a negative. It says Meghan Markle re-releases controversial as ever item as part of Valentine's Day collection. I didn't even bother to go in to even look at this article because it's just that ridiculous. How can chocolate be controversial? I don't even know what they came up with on this one. It is so blatantly biased. Anybody can see that these people are just looking for something to write about when it comes to Megan because her success is burning a hole in them. Megan's success is like a laser. Yes, it has burned a hole in their soul. I mean, you could probably look straight through them if you looked at them directly. Megan's success is like kryptonite to them. I mean, like kryptonite to Superman. They cannot handle it. They can't. It weakens them. They just cannot handle it. And this squatty came up under that ridiculous post and said this: What is controversial about chocolate for Valentine's Day? Using Meghan to distract from the one formerly known as Prince and the fact that that royal family probably knew what was going on isn't going to work this time. Well, come on with it. Come on with it because that is what's probably going on here. I mean, you can write about Megan's chocolate, but you can't write about what is going on in the JE files. I mean, disgraceful. They shouldn't even call them journalists anymore or news organizations. They should put the word pseudo in front of them. And that is a much more accurate description of what they call news organizations over there across the pond. Pseudo news organizations. I'm just saying. And this squatty reposted that same article and said GB News is desperately trying to make Meghan Markle selling chocolate for Valentine's Day controversial to distract from the JE files. It's not going to work this time. Exactly, because that dog is not going to hunt this time. Because what has come out of the JE files, it is so explosive. It is nothing that they can come up with that has anything to do with Harry and Meghan, who is minding their business 5,000 miles away on a whole different continent in Montecito. It's nothing you could come up with that could ever drown out what is happening on these internet streets when it comes to the JE files. I mean, everybody is getting exposed. Now, I thought 2025 was the year of exposure, but 2026 is absolutely going to be a banger. It is, because if this is any indication, we're in for a ride, y'all. Buckle up. And I am going to love every minute of it. I'm just saying. And this squatty said, Meghan selling chocolate. Controversial? The royal family hosting a convicted pedo. Crickets. Exactly. This is the reason why that dog won't hunt. It's because it is too big. It's huge. And Harry and Meghan is not going to be able to pull this out for y'all. Because at the end of the day, they're in Montecito minding their business. It's nothing to write about. If you're so desperate that you're writing about chocolate, you already have lost the plot. Yes, you have already missed it, because it's no way a couple minding their business in Montecito is ever going to be able to overshadow the story of the century, which is the JE files and the drip, drip, drip of it. It is just no way, no way you're going to be able to pull this one out of the fire because you don't have the credibility, you don't have the swag, you don't have the gravitas that's needed to do that, to refocus the world's attention. You don't have it. Fleet Street does not have that kind of pull anymore because you played yourself. When you decided to hook up with that family and perpetrate a smear campaign on two innocent people who all they wanted was to be able to love each other and live their lives in peace, people have saw that. The world has been paying attention, and because of that, you have lost all credibility. Nobody pays the British media any attention. They know exactly what it is all about, and that is lies, lies, lies. You have proven yourself to be a pseudo news organization that does nothing but lie and lie and lie some more. Something that is never ever going to garner any respect, at least not on the world stage anymore. I'm just saying. And this particular squatty said Megan Sussex is the only royal wife who didn't need the monarchy's financial support. Where is the lie? Megan showed up with her pockets fat. She was a multi-millionaire when she got there. And she is the only one who came into that family in that financial position. Now, all I can say, you can hate it, you can love it, but you cannot change it because that is the fact. And it says, and that's from the onset. Megan was draining her accounts while in the UK working for the monarchy, buying her own clothes, etc. Where is the lie? Where is it? She was not even getting health care from those people. And she was the spare's wife. It is ridiculous how they treated Megan when she was over there. And somehow they think she should have stayed. That is the mind blowing part. What in the world do you think Megan was benefiting by staying over there and taking all of their abuse when she was not being protected or taken care of in any form or fashion? Stop it. And this squatty said, they've tried to sabotage her since. Still, she's thriving. Where is the lie? Where is it? They have kind of cooled down a little bit. It was every time Harry and Meghan did anything, they sent out the flying monkeys trying to absolutely blow it up. But now it seems like it has dawned on them that they're not going to be able to stop this runaway train. No, they either get out of the way or get ran over. And that's the way it is. That's the way Harry and Meghan is saying. Either get out the way or get ran over. And I love it. And this squatty said the moment when Harry and Meghan was on stage with Willie and Kitty, who was out there fighting syllables for their life, that was the exact day they found out in real time that Meghan is not like the others they were used to. She's eloquent, grounded, and dangerous in a room full of mediocrity. Where is the lie? Where is it? You could see it. I don't know if you can, but if you can, go back and watch that. You can see it on Willie and Kitty's face. It's dawning on them. While Kitty is struggling, trying to find words, Meghan is eloquent. She is absolutely in command of the room. She is shining. She is just absolutely shining. And you can see Willie watching Meghan as she is speaking, and the color is draining out of his face. And he knew right then in that moment that he could never, ever, ever sit Kitty in a room with Meghan one on one ever again because Kitty is mediocre. And he came to understand just how mediocre she really was in that very moment in real time. And I think everybody in that room did. And I know everybody watching it did because I did. I was like, this woman can't tie two sentences together. And Megan is absolutely running circles around her. And she was running circles, let's be honest, around Willie as well. It was something to see. That right there is television history, at least for me. But yes, that was the moment they knew that they had to try to destroy her. And this squatty posted this and said, I said multiple times, you attract who you are. And we all know Willie and Kitty are two different sides of the same coin. They are the same person in male and female versions. They're both dumb as rocks. They are future king and queen dumb as a rock. And it says, behind the dirty palace walls and doors, they told Megan Sussex to be 50% less of herself. Their followers want Megan to be 50% less than herself, too, so that mediocre Kate could shine. No, they never demanded that. Exactly. They wanted Megan to be less than. And you know what? When you are greater than, it is very hard to be less than. But that's what they wanted. Talking about be 50% less than who you are. And I remember Megan saying in the Oprah interview that they were saying that she was everywhere. And she said I was everywhere, but I was nowhere. Megan was not doing anything. She was just going on the engagements that they had booked for her. She couldn't help it that her personality would just shine like this. She has the shine. And they wanted to dim that shine so mediocre Kate could seem brighter. But what I don't understand, and I have said this time and time again, if Kate wants to be greater than, why don't she work on herself, building herself up? You know what I'm saying? Why does Megan have to be less? Why can't you be greater? Why can't you do something to improve yourself? But that's not the way that family works. They want you to absolutely be less than, so their mediocrity can seem like it's greater. But yeah, I agree with this, Squatty. It is ridiculous. And I'm gonna put this up, and this particular squatty posted about what that squatty was talking about when it said Kate's fans want Megan to be 50% less so mediocre Kate can seem like she is the one with the shine. And this squatty posted what So this squatty posted what one of those mediocre fans of Kate's, because let's not get it twisted, they're just as mediocre as she is. That is the reason why they feel a connection with her. And that is the reason why they have such strong hatred for Megan, because we all know mediocrity cannot stand excellence. So yeah, they're just as mediocre as she is. And this squatty posted this from one of these mediocre women who follow behind Kate, which I don't think they really even care about Kate. It's more about hating on Megan, because Megan, her whole persona, who she is, makes them feel bad about themselves. Yes, and that's the way excellence always make mediocrity uncomfortable and very insecure. Now, this is a question that was put out there, and this so called fan of Kate answers the question. It says, when was the first time you thought that Megan wasn't going to get what it means to be a royal duchess? And this is what this mediocre fan of Kate said. Like many other people, when Harry first introduced Meghan to us and they got engaged, I thought this is going to be a good thing, a new way of looking at royal life, a different perspective, someone who understands the pitfalls of privilege. It didn't take long for me to think, I'm not so sure. The thing that made me reconsider was that Fab 4 interview in February 2018, the one where Catherine was pregnant and William admitted that they didn't always agree. And the thing that bothered me about it was that Meghan didn't care who she upstaged. Catherine was clearly physically uncomfortable, and in any case, she always comes across as someone who doesn't enjoy public speaking. Meghan just took the microphone and showed off. But in actuality, Meghan was not showing off. Meghan was actually being herself. It's just that when you put mediocrity right next to excellence, it is such a jarring thing. People probably never even considered that Kitty was so mediocre until she was sitting next to Meghan, who was the embodiment of excellence. And that was the point where they knew the bar had been raised and they didn't like it. None of it. Mediocre people do not enjoy being showed up. They don't. Because, and I have said this many times, Kate knows she's mediocre, and so does Willie. But it goes on and says she wanted to be the person who everyone remembered, admired, looked up to. No one else mattered. I sort of understood how it happened. She was an auditioning actress, as she called it, which means looking for the spotlight so you get noticed and remembered by producers and directors. Except that all the actors that I know, and I wonder how many actors she knows, probably none, but it says, except all the actors that I know were always trained at drama school in how to behave in an ensemble piece. That means being considerate and showing grace to your fellow cast members so that everyone shines. Yes, they thought Meghan did not show Kitty and Willie grace. I saw the whole panel and everybody was talking. Meghan was even looking at Kate while she was talking, and and it seemed like it made Kate even more nervous to the point where I don't even know what Kate was saying, and Kate didn't know what Kate was saying because she knew she was in the presence of someone who knew exactly how to handle themselves in that situation. And so, yeah, it is something to watch. If you have an opportunity, go back and watch it. I'm sure you can Google it and it'll pop up. But yes, it was absolutely delicious, and it was the beginning of the end of the Fab Four. That was the grand opening and the grand closing all at the same time. Yes, but this is their fans. They want Meghan to be less than. They do. They don't want Kate to up her game. No, let Meghan be less than. She's showing out. She's trying to show herself to be the one that everyone admires. Excuse me. I mean, it is crazy to me. And the squatty that posted this said, we knew it. They're mad that Meghan wouldn't dumb herself down to Kate's level. Where is the lie? Where is it? Not that Kate should absolutely up her game. No, they don't want Kate to do that because then Kate would be better than them. They know they're mediocre and they love for Kate to be mediocre. They just don't like for Meghan to be excellent. That right there is their problem. I'm just saying. And this particular squatty reposted that squatty and said, This is so telling. A lot of the hate comes from the fact that Meghan makes them feel inferior. Where is the lie? I have said this, I have preached this on this podcast forever. Meghan makes them feel bad about themselves, how she carries herself, how intelligent she is, how pretty she is, how she is always on point with whatever she is doing. When she goes to do a speech, she is on point. She studies. When she goes to an engagement, when she was a working royal, she would do her homework. She would know people's names. She would know about the charity. She would know about the history. She would always do her homework. Y'all remember when they were in Australia and they went to have lunch with this family out there in, I don't know where it was. And y'all, if y'all know, y'all put it in the comments. But Meghan baked zucchini bread the night before and brought zucchini bread. This is the detail that Meghan would do. And so because of that, they hated her for it. They did. And this particular squatty is absolutely on point. Meghan makes them feel inferior. And they hate her for that. Instead of working on themselves, they rather hate on Meghan. And this squatty reposted that same squatty and said, as Oprah put it, they wanted her to be less than 50% of herself. And as time has shown, that didn't apply only to the royal family, it extended to the sycophantic royal fans who felt threatened by Meghan. Exactly. Meghan's excellence absolutely threatens the mediocrity of the royalists. They are absolutely mediocre. And because of that, Meghan's excellence makes them feel bad. It does. And that is the reason why they really gravitate to Kitty. Because Kitty is just like them, mediocre. And because of that, they hate on Meghan because Meghan's excellence makes them feel bad, and that includes Kitty. That is the reason why Kitty was stepping to Meghan when they did that last walkabout during the Queen's funeral. Yes, it was the reason. She hates her. She literally hates Meghan. Not because Meghan has done anything to her, just because Meghan is. She is better. She is better at everything. And what's so embarrassing is Kitty hates Meghan, but then in return, she copies everything that Meghan does. Kitty's inner turmoil must be off the charts. And I'm gonna put this up. And this squatty posted a picture of Kitty when her and Willie was up there in Scotland during the time that Harry was in court. Y'all remember that? And they did this whole engagement with this curling team. And the word on the curb is this, that Willie and Kitty both took turns during this whole event, curling. And prior to them taking their turn, the curling team coached them on how they were to proceed as they took their turn, meaning how you curl. They was teaching them how to curl. And they told Kitty when she got to the line, she was to let the stone go by itself. Kitty would never let the stone go. And they say that is the reason why she is laughing right here, is because even though that they had coached her on how to do this, she never could get it right. She would never let the stone go. And then by the time she did, it was, it just messed up the whole thing. And it wouldn't go that far. So, yes, this is what that is about. And it's also proof that Kitty cannot even perform simple tasks, cannot take simple instructions. And how embarrassing. How very, very embarrassing. And what she does is she'll laugh things off and pretend like, it's not serious, da 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 da. But we all know that behind the laughter is always some pain. And we know that Kitty absolutely hates the fact that she is so mediocre, but she can't do anything about it. And I wanted to post this. I had saw this a while ago and I never had the opportunity to put it in my podcast. And because the day is kind of slow, I decided I'm going to put it in the podcast now. And what this is primarily Saucy posted about Kitty and Willie's relationship and pretty much stating that Kitty was a default. She was the default plan when it came to Willie. So we're going to read it and some of the things that the Squatty said about this particular post. Now, the post, like I said, is from primarily Saucy, and it says, however, Diana's untimely death caused another long-term issue for both her sons, but especially for William, the heir. Had Diana still been alive, the young aristocratic ladies would have been flocking to be her future daughter-in-law. Where is the lie? Now we know that's the truth. With Diana gone, that pot completely dried up. No aristocratic family wanted Camilla to be their mother-in-law. They knew what she was and that they all stayed well away. A few was tempted but quickly realized it was not worth it. This affected William greatly. Here he was, a future king, and he could not get a wife from within his own social class. His mother, Diana, famously had more British blue blood than even his own father, and yet no one could be found from his own social circle or even from royalty abroad who was willing to marry him. See, nobody didn't want William. And it was a lot because of Camilla. Camilla absolutely has always been a stain on that family. And also Willie's behavior. Y'all know that they knew Willie was crazy. Willie has had some issues since childhood. So yeah, it was a lot going on there. It wasn't all Camilla, but a lot of it was Camilla. Waiting a decade for some of the younger aristocratic daughters to come of age was also a fruitless exercise and resulted in his off and on again commoner girlfriend being nicknamed Waity Katie. Kate Middleton was never meant to be the one. She won by default. And all I can say is we knew that. We knew that. Nobody who loves someone is going to make them wait 10 years. And if you go back to that engagement, beside her not making any sense and not being able to tie two sentences together in that engagement video of theirs, you can tell William don't care nothing for her. He does not care anything for her. And she clearly is a social climber. And if Willie was not the heir to the throne of the United Kingdom and he was just someone she met in college, he would have never even made her radar at all because Kate was out to snag a wealthy man because their family was on life support over there, pretending like they were middle class. And so yeah, those girls had to get out and go and marry some money. That was that right there was the assignment. And I must say, they absolutely knew the assignment. They did it. And the squatty that posted this said, this explains a lot. Like why William took a decade to put a ring on Kate's finger, he was waiting for a better choice. And it's also ironic that Kate was such a massive snob towards Meghan. And I also think that she was hurt because Harry did not take a year. He knew right away that Meghan was the one. And boy, did he knock it out the park. He really knew what he was looking for. Meghan said he had a list. Harry admitted he had a list, and he said that Megan was the list. Harry knew what he was looking for, and when he found it, he knew that too. So, yeah, that is the reason why I think that Kitty had some resentment there as well, because she had to wait a long time. She was not a choice for William. And let's not forget all those unfortunate pictures that has come out of them, while they were dating. She was a trollop. She was falling out of cabs drunk. She was doing everything she could do, running the honey pot. She was doing everything she could do to nab him, to trap him. And she finally did, which is no big achievement when you're dealing with a dumb as a rock prince. And this squatty reposted that same post from Primarily Saucy and said this. So basically, Prince William marrying Kate Middleton was a backup plan to his backup plan. She wasn't his first choice. She wasn't even his second choice. She was plan C. And that's why their marriage failed and they are now living separately. That right there says everything that needs to be said. That's exactly what I believe. And this squatty posted that same post and said, "We always knew William did not want Kate from the jump. He really did think that being Prince William was enough to secure an aristocratic woman. Something I have learned recently is that when men are with women that they believe they are the one or who has the potential, they move faster, not slower. Where is the lie?" And we all saw how Harry was moving. Harry was moving very, very swiftly and quickly to secure Meghan for his future. He was. He did not wait. And that was one of the problems that William had with Harry, that Harry refused to wait. He refused it. And I agree with this squatty. When a man knows he has the one, he moves very, very quickly, just like Harry did. And so Willie was really, really slow. 10 years in the making. So that tells you a lot, doesn't it? It says William was moving at a snail's pace with Kate and ultimately was forced into deciding to marry her because people were constantly on his case. Yes, it was. Yes, yes, yes. People was asking, when are you going to ask her to marry you? 10 whole years, a decade, she had to wait around and pretend like she had a job. Pretend like she absolutely had something going on for herself. And it says, that is why now, all these years later, the misery has really etched itself on his face. It is not just the unhinged hatred and jealousy that William has for Harry, but the fact that he sees the life Harry is living and hates that he gets to live it with the woman he loves. Whereas William is stuck in the firm in a horrible job with a wife he cannot stand. Woo! Come on through. Yeah. Come on through, Squatty. Tell me that is nothing but facts. That is this Squatty clocking all the tea. And she is clocking the tea. I agree with everything. It is nothing I can add to or take away from that. That is it. And I want to put this up and I want to talk about some of the things that the squatters are talking about when it comes to these JE files. A second JE victim claims that she was sent to the UK to have sex with Andrew, lawyer says BBC. Now, yeah, another woman has come out against Andrew. Y'all think it's going to be more money paid out? I don't know, but this particular squatty posted over that and said, remember when they tried to convince people that the two grown-ups opting out and moving to a different country was somehow a crisis? Meanwhile, look at all of this. This was all going on. And y'all remember it says Harry and Meghan bombshell, worst royal crisis in 85 years. Well, I bet you it's not the one. I bet you it's not that now. It never was that, but I bet you it's not that now. We all know who's holding the title right now, and that would be the former Duke of York. And I'm going to put this up, and this squatty is talking about the House of York, and it says the House of York recap. Daughter off on a shagging weekend, which I found so disgusting on Sarah Ferguson's part. Now, she is telling a convicted pedo that her 20, well, I think they said 19 or 20-year-old daughter is on a shagging weekend. What kind of nonsense is that? And it says dad jetting with JE hovering over young girls and allegedly accused of aping and conspiracy to unalive. Mother emailing the same convicted pedo asking him to marry her. Yes, you heard it right. In this drop, it's an email where Sarah Ferguson is asking JE to marry her. And she's begging for money, as it says here, and loan her money to cover her bills. Isn't that something? I can't with these people. And it says all of them fully titled, fully royal with full 24-hour taxpayer funded security. But sure, continue your discussion and articles on how controversial Meghan's sold out chocolate is. These people, they are so unserious and they don't even realize it. I think they do. They absolutely are just grasping at straws at this point. Now, what do y'all think of Sarah Ferguson asking JE to marry her? I mean, the former Duchess of York absolutely asked a convicted pedo to marry her. I cannot. And somehow Meghan is supposed to be less than. You know what I'm saying? Meghan has more class than all of them combined. But yet and still they want to try to look down on her. It is crazy to me. These people are trash. But one thing I hope come out of this is that the British people know from this point on that these people are not special. They are trash. They are less than you. You have more morals and values in your little finger than these people have in their whole bodies. They are trash. And they have proven to be trash time and time again and still feel like they can sit in their ivory tower and look their nose down at you. I mean, you have to be a special kind of crazy to believe that you're somehow still better and you're behaving in such a manner. I'm just saying. And this squatty posted this about Diana and Sarah's relationship and said this Princess Diana stopped talking to Sarah Ferguson. I remember that. And it says she cut any contact. For years after Diana's death, Sarah was mentioning Diana as best friends, talking and talking about her, and then saying how great Charles and his horse are because they were giving freebies to Andrew and herself. She promoted and sucked up to Charles and his horse the moment Diana died. I'm glad Diana had cut her off. Sarah was so deep in JE's world, he was constantly giving her money. Exactly. And she was constantly begging for money. I have never saw someone beg for money as much as Sarah Ferguson begged this man for money in these files. She was constantly asking for money. I mean, how pathetic. I mean, she has been such a piece of SHIT for a long time. And it wasn't long after Andrew married her that she showed herself to be that. Now he waited. He was able to hide, and all of the establishment was cloaking for him, and we are just getting a peek behind his curtain. But Sarah Ferguson has been exposed a long time ago, and that is the reason Diana cut her off, because she was always a snake. I'm just saying. And squatties are going down memory lane and pulled up this receipt right here. Look at this. This was the morning after J.E. died. I'm telling you, Andrew thought he had it made. He's smiling. He's on his way to church with his mother. He thinks everything is over. He could have never imagined today. He couldn't have never imagined all of this coming up to haunt him. He really thought this was the end. And look at the queen. And you think she didn't know? She absolutely cloaked for him. And it says the morning after J.E. died. And then this other squatty came up under there and said, and they used the good kind royals as scapegoats to protect the one that is formerly known as Prince. King Charles III and Prince William are all guilty of protecting the one formerly known as Prince. They even gloated and wanted the whole world to know. And as you can see, yes, they did. Look at the Metro. They're out. He's in. Yes, they chose the pedo. They chose the pedo. And let's not get it twisted. The Queen chose the pedo as well. And look at this, y'all. If legitimate, this email correspondence seems to show billionaire Richard Branson advising a convicted pedo how to make a PR comeback after aping a child. What y'all think about that? Yes, yes, yes. These people have no core. They have none. It is something about getting a large amount of money. Some people lose themselves. They do. And this is Richard Branson. This is Richard Branson advising a convicted pedo how to rebrand. I cannot, y'all. That was in the JE files that dropped. And this squatty said, was this after or before he parted with Princess Kate Middleton? Yeah, I wonder, was it? I think it was probably, I don't know. I ain't even gonna guess. What y'all think? I wouldn't be surprised. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it out loud. And I'm gonna say I don't know if it'll happen or anything like that. This is just my belief. I would not be surprised if Kate's name didn't come up in these files. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Am I over my skis, or do y'all think that it is a good possibility? Because as you can see, she was out there. She was, because she did not know if she was going to secure Willie or not. She was trying to get the bag wherever she could get it. And she was hanging out with Sir Richard Branson. She was. So y'all tell me, am I over my skis? But I would not be surprised, because we all know those two princesses are in deep doo-doo, because their names are all over this new drop of JE files. And look at this. This was in the Daily Mail. It says Richard Branson told J.E. to bring his harem the next time they met, as he gave pedo PR advice after conviction for procuring minors for you know what. Yes. So he told him to bring his harem. He was participating in this nonsense. Yes, and this squatty says she loves these kind of disgusting men. We all know that's true. And this is true because Kate was on her hustle back then. She was on the grind. She was trying to secure the bag. That's what it was all about. And I want to put this up and look at this. Another princess has been caught in this whole debacle that is the JE files. And this particular squatty is talking about Little Tooth, Big Tooth being disappointed because these two royal princesses are her favorite, and we all know how she feel about Megan. Megan is absolutely ghetto and everything else you can say about Megan. But look who really has gotten caught up in this. And this particular squatty said that lady who runs the Royal News Network is in mourning. Two of her favorite white royals are all over the JE files. So many times she spent her money flying from the US just to see the Scandinavian royals. Now watch her still pass her abuse and racism to the Duchess of Sussex for criticism. Now I want to say this. The Swedish princess is this one over here. Her name is Sophia. Sophia, I think. Correct me in the comments. But yeah, now she is not the crown princess. She is married to the second in line to the Swedish throne. But she was in the JE files many times. And they say she might even be a victim because it was through her mentor. And they're saying that it might even be a setup that he married her because this might have been planned because her mentor is someone who is very close to JE. And so that is the reason why they were discussing her and giving her mentor was giving JE updates on what she was doing and how she was doing and how she was faring within the royal family of Sweden. What y'all think about that? They are saying it really sounds like she maybe was a plant. I'm just repeating what they're saying. I'm just repeating. And this other one here, they say she is in big trouble. We're going to talk about that. And this particular squatter is posting about it, and it says, seems like the Norwegian royal house is in crisis after revelations show that the wife of the country's crown prince, Mette Marit, was in contact with JE for years. Norway's largest newspaper, I'm not going to try to pronounce it, even wonders whether she can still become queen consort. Yes, it is going down over there in Norway. Yes, it is. And it's because she was really in deep with JE. It is coming out that she was staying at his place. He was making arrangement for cars and hotels for her. Yeah, it was going down. And oh yeah, all I can say is it is really going to be a bumpy road for her. It is. And then you know she also has that son that's going on trial on Tuesday. And he has been wilding completely out. And the charges against him is 4 counts of ape. Yes. I'm telling you, these royal princesses, they are in trouble. They are. But like I said, the one for Norway, they're looking at her more like she might be a victim. She was being groomed. She was being used as a plant within that family. I don't know. It is all going to be something interesting to watch, y'all. So get your popcorn because we're not only going to be watching the British royal family, we're going to be watching the the Swedish royal family as well as the Norwegian royal family because it's going down. All right, y'all, you know I have to end on a positive note, and this particular squatty made me cackle, so I am going to share. This squatty said, whenever I feel like a good giggle, I watch the snippet of Willie looking constipated and awkward tapping Kate's hand while internally internally screaming, "Help me! I still can't believe someone thought this was a good idea." Yes, good memories, good memories. That is a good memory and a good way to get a good cackle. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.